Welcome to the second episode of Real Estate Matters. This webinar aims to simplify real estate investing, construction, and home and design issues for our main audience out there. That is, the growing number of home buyers, sellers, builders, and property development players. We hope Real Estate Matters becomes your number one home for real estate investing online. Join us every fortnight as we tackle in our first series of episodes how the big property players are adjusting to the new normal while building projects that would cater to the Filipino home buyers, office renters, shoppers, travelers, and industrial investors out there. In this second episode, we're tackling the trends in the low-cost housing industry. You see, even as the country is gripped by the throes of the COVID-19 pandemic, although it seems that we're on our road to recovery now, Filipinos continue to chase after the dream of their own home, no matter how modest, but still built with decent quality materials. The sector, in fact, still remains promising given the huge backlog that is about 3.9 million units and projected to grow to over 6.5 million by 2030, according to the Subdivision and Housing Developers Association Incorporated. Great interest in affordable housing has been shown in Rizal, in Cavite, Rodriguez, Rizal, neighboring towns like San Mateo, accounted for most inquiries for socialized housing. Quezon City and Las Piñas, Laguna, Batangas, on the other hand, have got the greatest number of searches for low-cost homes. Antipolo, Davao City, and Bacoor were close behind, and Davao City were also among the top locations chosen for economic housing by property seekers, followed by Cavite Town's Imus, General Trias, as well as Marilao in Bulacan. As the country looks forward to recovery after COVID-19, forward-thinking developers are going all out to create master plan communities with facilities that promote communal self-sufficiency and offer every Filipino with the dignity of home ownership via the provision of quality-built affordable homes. Do stay with us within the next hour as we take a serious look at this issue. Our guests, we have an excellent lineup of guests for you now today to shed light on the various intricacies and vagaries of this issue. Starting off, we have a very proactive and hands-on leader who provides entrepreneurial spirit and innovation with focus on value addition to product and customer experience. This guest that I will be introducing first has 15 years in-depth experience in affordable and low-cost housing in the Philippines. And she believes that a strong corporate culture is the key driving element in delivering projects at the right quality, schedule, and profitability. I give to you, ladies and gentlemen, the president of Ovia Land Incorporated, Marie Leonore or Tami Fatima Vital. Tami, how are you?
Hi, Sir Joel. Thank you for your introduction. And I hope soon enough we'll be able to schedule your visit to our developments very, very soon.
Yes, that's true. Again, thank you very much for gracing our humble show.
My honor.
Yes. Our next guest actually is related to the first guest that I introduced. He is currently the president. He's involved very much really in socialized economic housing for a long time, and he is also at present also has his company, the Eco Verde Homes Corporation, of which he is the president. I give to you the president of the Organization of Socialized and Economic Housing Developers of the Philippines, or OSHDP, Gino Olivares. Gino, kamusta?
Good morning, Joel. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, yeah, go ahead.
Nagulat ako. Co-guest pala yung sister ko today.
Linda, both of you are very well suited to this topic for today, and again, thank you very much for gracing our show. Okay, our final guest, and he'll be joining us, uh, is involved in the sector, primarily in charge of the implementation of the various housing programs and services of the Pag-ibig Fund Home Lending Operations Cluster, very important government offices, particularly in developing and maintaining partnerships with developers, brokers, and other institutional partners, which is instrumental in the provision of decent and affordable homes for qualified Pag-ibig Fund members. He has already held several key positions in the fund, which include serving as Vice President for Home Lending Operations for Visayas and Mindanao Group, Vice President for One Mindanao, Vice President for Northern Mindanao, and as Manager of the Cagayan de Oro branch and Pagadian Pag-ibig offices. He's a graduate of the Western Mindanao State University in Zamboanga City, where he completed a Bachelor of Arts degree, major in English, and a postgraduate in Public Administration. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you the Senior Vice President of the Business Development Sector of the Pag-ibig Fund Home Lending Operations Cluster, Mr. Fermin Jong Santa Teresa Jr. Jong, how are you? Looks like Jong will be joining us later. So I suppose we can start with the interview proper now with our first two guests. Okay, I give the floor. Well, both of you can actually answer this. Pami, Gino. Well, the lockdowns imposed since the pandemic erupted last year have decidedly boosted interest in home ownership among young Filipinos. I'm talking about the millennials, Gen Z, and other potential buyers who've been showing great interest in getting their own homes. This is according to data as well from your organization, Gino, the OSHTP. What housing options are usually these millennials or Gen Z or potential buyers looking for? What's the trend nowadays? Especially after now that we're going into the new normal and we're unlocking new funds and interest in buying.
Maybe, can I answer this because ako yung
Sure,
millennial.
go ahead, please.
Okay, so you're talking about what developers and what the industry should anticipate on the new normal, no? But aside from the new normal, with what we have experienced in the pandemic, I believe it's actually the new generation of home buyers that we should be focusing on some more. This is a trivial information that I love to share. When I started in sales many years ago, when we started out with our real estate developments, when our clients would come in, the selling point would really be how many multi-families can dwell in one house. So, the tripping will be like, pagpasok mo dun sa bahay, ipapakita mo, dito sa living room, pwedeng maglatag, pang-anim, tapos sa taas, pwedeng maglatag, ganito, ganyan. So, it was really a combination of, several generations and extended families that were sharing in one house. But right now, with the millennials that we have and the new generation of home buyers, we are valuing privacy some more. We are really aspiring for our own homes where you can live, as husband and wife when your children, or even as single individuals who want to invest right away, who are more mindful with their financial planning. So that's actually with regards to the trend, of course, they're buying young, so finances are limited. So but they are also very aspirational. The influences all around us are so strong when you're talking about Pinterest, or even yung mga dream homes or home goals, mga ganon. So that's actually what I am sharing, that it's not just the new normal that we should be preparing for. It's really the new generation of young, intelligent, aspirational home buyers that we should be preparing for. So they are the ones that are very internet savvy. Before they decide on buying a home, they'll Google you, they'll check if there's any reviews. So that's exactly what developers should be prepared for. That we have more intelligent clients, and who really want to get their money's worth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So technology is playing a big role. Well, especially for this generation of younger buyers, there's very savvy in technology.
Yes.
Yes. Has there about their buying preferences? Or
Let me
go ahead.
add.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me add to that also.
Sure. Please.
The millennials and Gen Z are now actually getting older, and parang yun nga, yung sinasabi ni Pami na they're the new buyers for affordable housing or low-cost housing because it's their first home. So, medyo na accelerate siya nitong pandemic from vacation trips to new gadgets, di ba? Ngayon, they're now saving, they're now investing. And what better investment is there than real estate, di ba? So, yun yung mga nila, like yung for single millennials, they look for houses near the metro, yung mas malapit sa work nila. Tapos yung mga married millennials naman look for spacious units, yung madaming bedroom, yung pinaplano talaga nila yung future nila sa family.
Now, in the past, well, of course, I suppose it up to now, it's still the same. A lot of the real estate developers or property players, they build and they will come. That was the main, I suppose, mantra. So, and almost everybody had the same concept. There's a basketball court, a clubhouse, or for condos, I don't know, gym, that sort of thing. Have there been changes in preferences, new lessons learned that now the developers have to be more adept or agile in adjusting to? Do you see that? Anybody can answer both.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Yes, they're looking for more outside spaces like to jog or to exercise. For the affordable before kasi yung pag sinabi nilang affordable or socialized housing, it really built bare minimum eh. So parang kung ano lang talaga yung requirements of the government, yun talaga binibuild. Pero ngayon, dahil nga yung new generation of buyers, they look at you, they research you. Maluwag ba yung mga kalye? Meron bang place to walk? Diba? May place ba to go jogging? Ganun. So they look for that na now. So even if yun nga, nasa affordable housing ka, we offer those amenities because the market is looking for it.
So I think, Joel, what I really try to, running a development company, what I always remind myself is that this is more than just shelter. It's more than just a roof over your head that you're selling to people. These are actual human beings with lives to live and dreams that they want to carry out in their lifetime. So it's more than just a roof over your head. It's going to be the setting for the life you create. It will be how when you wake up in the morning, what will you see? How safe will you feel going home at night? So those are the things that as developers, I think we have to put a lot of focus and a lot of respect towards our clients. It cannot be, okay, just give the bare minimum, basta may bubong, basta may pinto, basta may bintana, pwede nang gamitin yan. So we are really at our whole society, our whole Philippine economy, we are really at such an exciting time. I mean, pre-pandemic, our growth rates were really, one of the top in Asia and even in the world. So that means, what does that translate to? That translates to people's lives getting better, more spending power for a bigger chunk of the population. And as developers, I believe that we have the responsibility to give and to provide the opportunity for our clients to really have not just a roof over their heads, but going to be a setting for a lifetime worth living. Yeah.
Your projects, I'm familiar with them, especially in Laguna and Batangas, right?
Yes.
So this is more like you're going to the urbanization trend, of
yes.
people wanting to go to open spaces. At the same time, with the infrastructure, bent of the government, How has this helped your projects? You can identify these projects, by the way. Feel free.
Yeah.
What's the selling point out there?
Yeah. So actually, we are already selling in Quezon province as well. I'm proud to say that we are actually we are the pioneer mass housing developer that entered Quezon. What we are seeing is that the TR4, actually the TR4 was launched in 2015, but it's only now that we are really seeing, the light na parang, oy, nandiyan na yung mga kalye, nandiyan na yung mga bridges, people are really, going, it's really going to happen. So what opportunity does that translate to when it comes to our clients? No, it means, your value for money can stretch further when it's outside urban Metro Manila. So because of the internet and because of infrastructure, people are able to go further. People are able to invest in other areas, not just in Metro Manila. Why? Because they have the opportunity to find livelihood in other areas. They have the opportunity to find work and education and a place for them to live. Dati kasi, remember how it was before, like in the 70s, 80s, yung mga taga Visayas pupunta ka ng Manila because nandun yung school, nandun yung pagkakataon, ganyan. But right now, I believe that there's more opportunity for everybody across the nation, and it is because of connectivity, the flights and the infra that's really, really, really totally helping. So that basically what you can afford in Metro Manila will give you maybe a studio, but outside can give you a duplex unit, or you have your own house and lot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, parking space. So there.
Yes, also, I'll add like the Star Tollway. The Star Tollway, when it was renovated, the growth in Batangas was exponential for affordable housing. Daming mga project na bago, and all the way up to Nasugbu, may mga affordable housing projects na. Personally, I would like to see it also in Visayas and Mindanao. Like a super highway connecting the Cebu to northern Cebu all the way up to Bantayan. There are a lot of lands there. Creating more opportunities for Filipinos to work away from the metros, to decongest the metro areas.
Gino, I'd like to ask, because I know you have the Eco Verde company.
Yes.
Before, there's an observation that green technology, the trend towards that, awareness of climate change initiatives, these used to be just part of the marketing brochures and all that. But do you see any, are more real estate players looking into green technologies, including the use of renewable materials, low energy, reduced carbon emission? What with the growing public awareness among the market, especially younger buyers out there that we were talking about earlier?
Yes, we are actually seeing it now. So most especially with the market for the millennials and the Gen Z, they're very environmental conscious, right? So what we do, we try to do our part for affordable housing. Like, we design or use construction methodology that produces less waste. We also provide large windows for ventilation and light, so that they do not consume that much energy. Some of our members also provide solar panels in their houses that they sell in OSHDAP. But yun nga, going green is a little bit more expensive. So for the affordable housing, that's one of the OSHDAP's main agenda, green technology. So we advocate for maybe help from the government for these projects. Like, if you go green, you have tax incentives or lower borrowing costs for those projects. But mahirap coexist together yung green technology and affordable housing. So we need help on that. So we advocate for that.
I see. Abby, I'd like to add anything with regards to that topic.
Siguro it's the market again. We are driven by their growth, right? So yung green kasi, we have millennials who are more conscious already of the earth, especially how we have learned about all these mga yung mga global warming and all those things. So in a way, it is something that I believe the government should support across all industries and including housing, so that we can really become a more progressive and more long-term thinking Filipinos, not just for today and until tomorrow. So that's something that I aspire for, that we will be more forward thinkers, and so that we can really take care of this beautiful country that that we are in.
I'd like to ask you guys about how do you look, the movement in interest rates up ahead, especially now as things normalize. How will this affect the affordability of low cost housing units?
So I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Basically, 90% of the affordable housing market is financed by Pag-ibig. Okay. Pag-ibig, their interest rate is not market driven. It's from the money of the members. So the interest rate is kept low. Mas lalo na for the socialized housing segment, they subsidize it pa. So the socialized housing, I think now is only 3% interest rate. So projecting for the affordable housing, for the interest rate movement, we're not expecting that much of an increase for next year for the interest rates. So it's kept affordable, and especially Pag-ibig housing loans are up to 35 years. So the movement in interest rate does not affect naman the affordability of the monthly amortization.
I mean, how about from your end of the woods?
I agree. I agree. 1-2% adjustment over a 30-year term loan translates to almost 200-300 pesos a month. So it's nothing that we should really be very worried about. I think it's more of the inflation that we should be expecting next year, as the bounce back of not just the Philippines but the whole world. As everybody will be scrambling. So cash will be king, and resources will be limited. We're still waiting for China to open up completely. So material expenses are we're looking towards significant increase, actually. I mean, just to be pessimistic about it. But when it comes to the home borrowing, like what we said, we are so lucky. The Philippines is so lucky to have HDMF, whose government mandate is really to provide shelter and housing for the Filipinos. And I think because of the contributions and the strong local, strong formally employed sector in the Philippines, I think they will be very robust and very strong.
I mean, do you see, movements, in new mass housing developments, both in NCR and nearby provinces like where you are? Is there a shift to vertical developments like mid-rise condominium buildings? Or I ask this because land values are targeted to become more expensive for low-cost mass housing because of the penetration of infrastructure and higher affordability due to the lower cost of money. Your thoughts?
I believe, we have seen some developments that are trying to enter the mid-rise to, high-rise outside of urban Metro Manila, but I believe it's too early. There is still land that can be acquired, strategically. And still at the price points that we desire as developers. So while I understand that in urban Metro Manila, vertical residential is the way to go, I believe in areas outside it's still very limited. It's probably maybe not yet 5% of the inventory that's available. But I would love to see successful mid-rise and high-rise developments in our areas, because that will really signal the strength of the local economy.
Gino?
Yes. Siguro medyo may mixed feelings pero kasi the affordability yung tinatanong, 'di ba? in order for us to develop land in areas that are expensive, there are floor areas. We have price ceilings. There's meron kami mga prices na we cannot go lower, like the square meters pa. So, yung nangyayari, di ba, pag lumalapit sa metro, nagmamahal yung lupa. So, for you to absorb to make it more affordable, you have to make the houses small. Correct? So, when you make the houses small, then it will be affordable. So, meron tayong mga minimum floor area standards in the government. So, like in Japan, right? Their houses are small because in Tokyo, the land is very expensive. So, we'd like also to see na yung market-driven yung mga lesser government na mga rules and regulations. So, para ma-address natin yung affordability near the metro areas.
Gino, I ask you, insofar as new construction, innovative construction materials, technologies, how is this helping now? Or what's the situation now with regards to, for low-cost housing developers? I remember, just before the pandemic, I visited one site that was being built in Cavite, and they were utilizing from the bricks to the type of, drywalls being utilized.
Yes.
Where are we going? From that?
We're actually developing also building systems now, because one thing is there's shortage of manpower in construction because of the build. There are a lot of condominiums in the metro are being built, so there's lesser manpower for your projects. So what do? So you have to innovate. You use precast systems or cast-in-place systems to lessen your manpower need, diba? And to make your construction faster. Yun yung mga trends doon. So doon siya na nakakamura ka for affordable housing kasi you do it parang systematically, like parang assembly line ba? But not like before na traditional construction, medyo manpower intensive, tapos labor intensive. Nagmamahal na rin yung labor cost mo dahil nga kulang yung workers. So matataas na yung rate ng mga nasa Manila. So hindi na sila umuwi sa mga provinces or nearby provinces.
That could be a problem, Gino, right? I mean,
Definitely.
Yes.
Because here I am, I'm talking about technologies and all that, but nane-negate pala ng labor costs and all that.
Joel, the way I see it is parang we are kind of like following in the footsteps of like the first world countries. For example, in America, diba, when they have mga renovations, ganyan, what is the go-to of people? They'll try to do DIY first before they find a contractor, kasi pag sinabi mong contractor, electrician, plumber, ganyan, the idea is that's a little bit pricier already. And I was really so fascinated because of the pandemic. I'm sure you're familiar with that very popular Facebook group that encourages home improvement, ganyan. So ang parang naturuan sila na, and especially with YouTube, parang sila na lang yung nagpalit ng tiles, ikaw na lang yung magpipintura ng bahay mo and all those things, because you realize that labor is kind of expensive. Sometimes there are times when it's not expensive but it's unreliable. So that's actually shift talaga, generational shift that I'm really seeing, because in the previous generations parang it was kind of impossible to imagine na we would be going to the Home Depots and buying materials and doing your own DIY renovation. But now it's becoming so common. It's becoming very it's becoming very it's common, it's practical, and then because of the internet, YouTube, you can learn how to do everything there. Magpapalit ka ng electric wiring mo and all those things. So it's really a very exciting time to be in this breakthrough generational change. Yeah,
well, that's great to hear. Gino, is the OSHDP
yes,
pushed up?
Yes.
have you been what moves are you doing sort of to address the issues that that face the industry, like that?
There we're
Construction.
continuous yes. We're continuously dialoguing with the policymakers, the Department of Shelter. We always have dialogues with them. OSHDAP also has its own talks. We have housing talks. We started it since 2020. We have already 24 episodes. We update the affordable housing industry of the trends and what's happening and how to help them and addressing the new normal. So we've been busy for 2020.
Pami, this is a question I wanted to ask. I mean, for small to medium scale developers like you, I mean, do you feel that you have an advantage over some of the bigger developers in some markets? Due to your
Definitely.
local knowledge and expertise, you're more agile, more
Yes,
creative, more in the use of technology. Meaning, mas nakakagalaw kayo ng mabilis. Is this true? And kindly explain.
I think it depends um on how you see yourself. You can see it as a disadvantage. You can say it like, oh, I'm not as well known, or I don't have as much capital. But you can also see it as an advantage to mean like I can make faster decisions. I am more in touch with my organization. I am more in touch with my market. So I guess it really depends if you are a half full or a half empty thinker. But definitely, as a medium scale developer, the way I believe that we are at an advantage. Decision making is faster. We have less clients. So we are able to really adjust. Not adjust. We are able to attend to their needs more. When it comes to technical wise naman, when it comes to acquiring of land, there are some developers that can no longer entertain anything below 50 hectares because the capex will not be worth it. The time frame will be too slow. But then again, there are really good pieces of land, well priced, well located, that you can buy for between 5 to 10 hectares, and we're able to grab that opportunity. Between my brother and I, we're able to move faster, respond faster. So that's actually the rationale why we are running separate corporations, because the idea is to divide and conquer, and move faster. Yeah.
Great strategy. Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting.
Anyway,
Yeah.
well, we're winding up down this first segment of the show. I'll give you an opportunity. Gino, you start first. Any messages that you want, send with regards to the affordable housing industry, the stakeholders involved, the regulators that the OSHDAP is addressing right now?
Yes, the affordable housing industry is doing well. It's growing. We have a lot of houses to build. I hope if there are developers there, they can join OSHDAP. We go to our webpage. We help the local developers from Luzon, Visayas, in Mindanao. We actually have 11 chapters already in the Philippines, and then if they need help on trying to navigate from land purchase to conversion of their property, we can guide them to the right direction. Because for me, there's a lot of backlog. Okay? The industry has a lot of market to we're only producing around 300,000 houses a year, and the backlog is projected to be 6.5 million in 2030.
That's a big gap.
So,
Yeah.
there's a really big gap, so kaya natin to pagtulong-tulungan. Yes.
Yeah, Pami, I give you an opportunity to mention your projects and what the future movements out there. Where can people go? To look for your development.
We are, yeah,
What do you offer in these developments?
we're actually We're actually focusing in the area of Southern Luzon for now. Via Land is offering products. We're calling it the premium affordable market, wherein we are giving value for money for our clients in terms of our product, our communities, and the service that we provide. So for the future home buyers out there, if you're thinking about it, we want to be partners. We want to be good partner developers to all our clients, and we want to give value for money products for both Ecoverde and Ovia Land. And take a look at it. We are seeing so many more brave young Filipinos who are making the big leap of home ownership at such a young age. Right now we are seeing 24, 25-year-olds who are making that decision, and I love it. I am an advocate of it because it means that you believe in your future, and you are planning for a good future, and that, I believe, is what this country needs. And let's all be part of it's great because it's nation building, and it's actually also society, improving the quality of life for more Filipinos. So thank you.
Yes, I fully agree. Again,
Yes.
thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Remember those names: Ecoverde and Ovia Land. And of
Yes.
course, the good work that both brother and sister here are doing for OSDAP, for the industry. Maraming salamat, Gino. Maraming salamat, Pami, for guesting in our show. So ulitin, and Pami, I will be visiting your project soon.
Of course. Of
So
course, we will
nag-normalize
meet
na.
after this. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Joel.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joel.
Well, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Our next guest basically um, he is the senior vice president of the business development sector of the Pag-ibig Fund Home Lending Operations Cluster. I sort of introduced him a while ago, but he wasn't in the room yet. He is instrumental. His office is instrumental in the provision of decent and affordable homes for qualified Pag-ibig Fund members. And his sector is also in charge of the implementation of the various housing programs and services of the fund, particularly in developing and maintaining partnerships with developers, brokers, and other institutional partners. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Senior Vice President of the Business Development Sector of the Pag-ibig Fund Home Lending Operations Cluster, Mr. Fermin Jong Santa Teresa Jr.
Hi, good morning, Sir Joel.
Morning,
Thank
good morning.
you for inviting us this morning.
Sorry for making you wait. Medyo a couple of technical difficulties lang, but we're okay now. How are you, sir?
I'm okay, Joel.
Yeah, good that you're here. I suppose I'll just dive in. How is Pag-ibig helped currently, especially now as we inch back towards normalization, after the nightmare of COVID-19? How has Pag-ibig helped in speeding up and facilitating the release of home loans, qualified employees and overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, over these past 2 years, and even beyond?
Well, we are happy to inform you, Joel, and the public that Pag-ibig continued to play its vital role as the lead funder in the implementation of the shelter program of the national government and our country. In fact, this year, despite the pandemic, we are very optimistic that we can hit around 95 to 100 billion in housing financing. And that's just an indication that Pag-ibig Fund, the housing industry rather, is going back to normal, and Pag-ibig will always be around to support or to extend the financial support to all our Pag-ibig Fund members.
Yeah, Jong, as we know that maraming nahirapan. A couple of people, a lot of our countrymen have experienced difficulties during, especially the OFWs during this COVID-19 pandemic era. I understand Pag-ibig initiated that Special Housing Loan Restructuring 2 or SHLR2 program. How does this work? What's the mechanics of this?
Yeah, that's actually one of the programs that we are conducting intensive campaign, Joel, because as you know, there are so many members affected, especially in the payment of their amortization with us. Earlier, we implemented a series of programs, various programs, home loan savers at that. But recently, the Board of Trustees approved the Special Loan Restructuring Program for all our Pag-ibig Fund members, housing borrowers at that, to enable them to update their accounts. So very easy to apply. They can go to our website, apply online for this program. They did not to pay any down payment to that effect. So ang mangyari is every member who will apply, the unpaid amortization will be paid together with the remaining term of the loan. So this would give the opportunity of every housing borrowers to update their accounts with us.
This is, sorry sir, pardon the ignorance, part to ng bayanihan law and all that.
Yes, we also complied with what is in the Bayanihan law requirements, specifically in giving our borrowers grace period. Because the law requires that all financial institutions will fully implement that requirement under the Bayanihan Act. But in addition to that, Pag-ibig Fund.
Yeah.
Pag-ibig
You go
Fund.
beyond that. Oh, right.
Yes, go beyond that by implementing the moratorium program before. The moratorium program is better than the grace period because if the moratorium program ng Pag-ibig Fund, we practically extend the term of the loan such that at the end of the moratorium period, the member has nothing to worry in paying the unpaid amortization. But rather, we are extending the term of the loan. Say, for example, if it will end 2025 December, then the loan will automatically be extended up to 3 months. So, medyo magaang sa isang miyembro not to worry in paying the unpaid amortization during this crisis.
And they can apply online,
Yes, Joe. It's always, we open our virtual Pag-ibig such that all members can already access to our services through our online facility.
Jong, I about, was it last month or something, I attended the launch of a housing project under Pag-ibig's Countryside Housing Initiative. I remember it was in Muntinlupa with provide affordable homes to employees of the local government unit.
Yes.
Can you give some more details on this? And are there other such projects being planned elsewhere, or also are these just for government employees?
Yeah.
I remember, I think it's called the Balay Munti Housing Project.
Yes. That's actually one of the model projects that we entered into an agreement with a local government unit. And the Countryside Housing Initiative, is actually a strategy for us to produce more houses, especially in areas considered unserved and underserved. Our targets are actually municipalities or even the cities and other places located outside in major cities, because we are trying to make sure that equal opportunity will be given to our Pag-ibig Fund members, especially in the countryside. In the case of Muntinlupa, that's one of the good examples where Pag-ibig Fund has been actively involved since the time they acquired the property. So ang role ni Pag-ibig is to assist the local government unit because definitely LGUs don't have the complete technical expertise in developing projects. That's where we are coming in. But Joel, be it emphasized, we are not competing with the developers. We are practically augmenting the development of housing projects, especially when it is considered unserved and underserved. In fact, we are bringing in developers as part of the partner of the partnership agreement. If LGU and other potential beneficiaries would like to take a tripartite agreement with any accredited developers with Pag-ibig Fund. That's even a welcome development, because we understand that the developers has the expertise in developing these housing projects. And this cheap project is one of the strategies where we can generate more houses at a cheaper cost and producing quality homes. And at the same time, as much as possible, our target is not just to build houses, but also building sustainable communities through these countryside housing initiatives of Pag-ibig Fund.
That is so good to hear, Jong. Actually, more than just building houses, building sustainable communities, in the far-flung, areas of our country and cities. Yeah. So that's good to hear. So aside from the Balay Munti housing project, can you mention, some others?
We have actually so many projects, even in private companies like Dole Philippines in Sarangani province. This is actually a partnership with private entity. We also have employers like the Comelec and other big employers, wherein Pag-ibig Fund is also engaged with them with the provision of housing para sa mga employees nila. So far, Joel, we have 56 tie-up projects among national government agencies, local government units, private companies, including associations and cooperatives. One of the cooperative that we have in Cebu area, napakagandang project wherein the beneficiaries were able to avail of a much cheaper and of quality houses because of this type of strategies that we are implementing.
Well, that's great to hear, Jong. It's really great to hear from you, about the programs of the Pag-ibig Fund, insofar as providing cash loans, making them more affordable, longer payment period, payment moratorium and grace periods, more going beyond the Bayanihan Acts to help our borrowers with their finances. Again, as we end this program, I give you the opportunity, Jong, to give a message to our Pag-ibig members out there, especially now as we seem to be emerging from the darkness of COVID-19. What's your message of hope for them insofar as Pag-ibig Fund is concerned?
Well, to our Pag-ibig Fund members, we are happy to inform you that despite the pandemic, Pag-ibig Fund is financially strong. In fact, as of August this year, the total asset of Pag-ibig Fund is already at 711.47 billion. And this is owned by the 13.36 million members we have all throughout the country. And for the same period, January to August, we were able to generate a total of 21.90 billion net income. So what does this mean? This will translate again to additional benefits to our members, specifically in the benefit share that they will be enjoying to be added in their savings. Because ito naman po yung programa ni Pag-ibig Fund, it's actually addressing the twin mandate, the provision of savings at the same time to give chances to all our Pag-ibig Fund members to acquire decent home for their families. And Pag-ibig Fund, because of the efforts that we are doing under the current crisis, even ranked first among the government financial institution with a high rating of 89% as the most trusted GOCCs. And we rank second among the national government agencies in terms of public trust rating. And this is
actually, Jong, inunahan mo lang ako. I was going to ask about that. I'm reading here in my notes, Pag-ibig Fund is the most trusted GOCC in 2021 Philippine Trust Index. Most trusted government-run corporation according to a nationwide trust survey of key institutions. Meaning, talagang malaki ang tiwala ng Pilipino pag sinabing Pag-ibig, gold standard yan. Insofar as trust rating institution.
And not only that, Joel, Pag-ibig Fund already got 9 consecutive unqualified or unmodified opinion from our Commission on Audit. That simply means that Pag-ibig Fund is professionally managed from top to bottom. And because of this trust that we are getting from our members, alam mo, last year, kahit nasa middle of the crisis tayo, we have this voluntary membership under MP2. We even received one of the parang record-breaking achievement wherein the members are contributing more. Ibig sabihin, this is a sign of the trust that they have with Pag-ibig Fund. In fact, this year, for that past 10 months, we again has the highest records in members collection, membership contribution collection at 52 billion something. So this is just a clear indication that members are trusting us so much. They never stop contributing with Pag-ibig Fund, especially under that voluntary scheme. And we are happy to inform the public that Pag-ibig is here, that is always committed to provide the utmost services to our members, specifically in housing. We are looking forward that we will be hitting around 95 to 100 billion this year. And for next year's target, our initial target approved by the Board of Trustees is 100.89 billion with a growth rate of 10%. And we always anticipate a stretch target of at least 15% growth rate. And Pag-ibig Fund, because of the support coming from our members, because of the support coming from our partner developers who are actually our partners in building houses for our members, we can give this assurance to the public that Pag-ibig will always remain as the lead funder in the implementation of the shelter program of the national government. And more services are being offered now to our members, especially yung iniiwasan na natin yung face-to-face contact, and we are also maximizing our service delivery through virtual facilities. That's why we encourage members to learn that habit of transacting with us online through our virtual Pag-ibig.
That's great to hear. Pag-ibig Fund has embraced technology really to try to reach out more to its stakeholders, home buyers among Filipinos.
Yeah. And Joel, let me take this opportunity again I hope you can help us disseminate, especially to our housing borrowers.
Your message now.
Our housing borrowers who are badly affected as a result of this crisis. If you fail to pay your housing amortizations, we have until December this year for you to avail of this special housing loan restructuring program, wherein, as I said earlier, there's no need for you to be worried in paying down payment because we will not require. You simply apply so that once and for all, starting January, you can already start paying your amortization based on the new schedule, since the unpaid amortization will be spread towards the end based on the remaining term of the loan. And at the same time, Joel, we are also giving incentive to all our members who are current in their amortizations by giving this raffle. We also have this raffle promo. Every month, we raffle at least 7 winners among the active the housing borrowers who are actively paying their amortization with us. And at the same time, we also implemented a HEAL program, a recognition to our housing borrowers. We call it the Home Equity Appreciation Loan. For members who have been paying with us housing amortization rather for more than 5 years, they can avail of this loan, an additional loan, wherein this offer is practically putting cash into the hands of our borrowers to help them address the financial needs brought about by this crisis that we have. So they may apply. Ang entitlement nila is a cash loan of at least 60% of the remaining collateral of the property that they bought through Pag-ibig Fund before. So napakagandang programa. Pag-ibig Fund is giving you the chance to acquire a housing loan with us just be updated in your amortization. After 5 years, you can also avail of a cash loan using the same collateral. So saan pa natin makita ang ganyang incentives among our members, and we continue to introduce forms so that our members can benefit more being Pag-ibig Fund members. No?
Maraming salamat, Sir Jong Santa Teresa. I'm sure mga tagapagpakinig natin, ayan na, Pag-ibig is there to the rescue. If you want your own home, I mean, what with their incentives and all that. Thank you very much, Jong, for guesting in our show. I mean, and giving us, elucidating on these new programs and existing programs. So,
thank you so very much, Joel.
Salamat, sir. Mabuhay ka.
Thank you po. Thank you, Joel.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for joining us in this second episode of Real Estate Matters. We hope you learned a couple of new things about the industry right now, especially with regards to affordable, low-cost housing, as well as the role of Pag-ibig Fund to actually make the road towards owning one's home a little bit more smoother and easier on the pocket. Again, maraming salamat for joining us tonight. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you again in our next episode. Thank you very much.